their first try. That's good news. All right, so that's a group of 2. That means that there are 8 spots left. All right, number 5. Okay,
Sorry, this is our 5th day try.
It's always bad when I go to my weekend and it's so bad. Okay, that's a group of 4. So that means, so that's 4 spots. So that means that there are 4 spots left. I don't think we have many other larger groups. So if we do, and if you have more than 4 people in your group, if you're drawn, you can either take the 4 spots that remain and leave somebody behind, or you can stick together, prove your team loyalty, and pass and do something else. But please think about whether or not you're willing to split up your group, whether or not it's a good idea, and I'll have to know quickly if you're drawn. Okay, number 4. Okay. So that's a group of 2. Yeah. All right, that's a group of 2. Which means now we have 2 spots left. Again, if you have more than 2 people in your group, you can either take the 2 spots and leave somebody, or you can all go together somewhere else. But again, think about whether or not you want to do that. Okay, number 7. Okay, that's a group of 2, so no family. 32.
32?
Okay. All right, that's a group of 2, so we're still okay. There are 7 spots left. Okay, number 43. Good thing I said that one right. Okay, that's a group of 2. So there are 5 spots left. Okay, number 26. You said 6. All right, so that's a group of 2 again. Okay, that means there are 3 spots left. We do have several groups with more than 3 people in them. The way that this works is if you get drawn and you have more than 3 people in your group, you can either take the 3 spots and leave somebody behind, or you can pass, do something together somewhere else. But you, please think about whether or not you're willing to do that, and whether or not it's a good idea, whether or not it's safe, whether or not... Okay, number 12. All right, that's 2 people, and now the pressure is on families and couples. There's 1 spot left. You can either take that 1 spot, hike alone, which is not always a very good idea, and possibly, destroy your marriage, which is also a good idea. Or again, you can pass and do something together somewhere else, but think about whether or not you're willing to split up your group. And number 1.
You could put that ball back.
Oh, yeah, that's, a good choice, probably. Okay, number 36. That's you guys. Okay, I think, good call. Sorry. Okay, number 9. Then here is your permit. The top part of this is for the dashboard of your vehicle. The bottom part you attach to your bag while you're doing the hike. This is a list of emergency number, shuttles, guides, and vehicle rentals if you're interested. This is the route description to get you to and from the wave. Look it over. I'm going to explain it to everybody in just a minute. Okay. All right, Leahy. Please do your part to preserve that experience for other hikers. Be quiet, don't shout to group members, don't run around, don't climb on things. Be respectful of other hikers, other visitors. I think you guys are going to be fine with that, but just I want to point out that that's a goal, and also are you for South?
Yeah.
Okay, they do that up front. They don't
Thank you.
Also just consider, think about that while you're out there. Think about how it feels to be out in a landscape alone, because it's a cool feeling, and you don't get that very often.
What about the 20 or 30 people?
Yeah, there's going to be a total of 20 people. So yeah, you're 10 of them, and then 10 people got permits online. All right, as you're doing this hike, a few things to be aware of are you'll see some paths in the sand, and then also some rock cairns probably. I just want to explain what's going on with those. Rock cairns are piles of stone that, like in other places, are used to mark trails. In North Coyote Buttes, in my experience, they're used to mark where somebody got bored and decided to rip up the sandstone and build a pile. So as you're doing this hike, please understand that you do not in any way need to follow any cairns that you see. And actually, typically, they're not useful. They're not on the main hike. I usually have to go hunting for them. So don't follow cairns, don't rely on them, don't trust them, and please don't make them. They get people lost in the desert, and they also clutter the landscape, they destroy the sandstone. They're a negative force, so please leave the rocks alone. If you do see a cairn when you're out there, feel free to knock it over. That's actually helpful, and we encourage it, but please do not make them, don't follow them. Paths are sort of a different story. There's that first path past the sign. That's real. You can pretty much trust that one. Other paths that you see are not necessarily as helpful. Usually people have great intentions. They're trying to get to the wave, but maybe they've never hiked out there before, and maybe they got a little bit lost. So even if you see footprints in the sand, that does not mean you have to follow them. You're welcome to follow paths. But if things aren't matching what your photographs are telling you, use your photographs. That's a better, kind of safer way to get there and back. Paths in the sand are often more difficult than hiking on rock, for what it's worth. So I usually hike on the rock. You're welcome to walk in the sand if you'd like, but there's no need to follow where other people's footprints are leading. Okay, want to stress that you have enough energy to get to and also from the wave. If you're having any health problems, any just exhaustion, anything like that, that's time to sit down, take a break, and then return. Don't keep hiking further from your vehicle. If you're hiking in a group, don't split up. Even if one hiking partner is not feeling well, hike out with them. Don't just leave them behind and go explore. Because almost always when we have something go wrong, it's after a group has split up. So stay together. That's a great way to kind of ensure your safety. And you'll feel like you're hiking uphill the whole way to the wave, but it's shocking. You'll learn on the way back there's also significant portions that are uphill. So be prepared for that. There's that sandstone or that sandy path area is a killer on the way back because it is uphill and it's in sand and you're tired. So save some energy for that. Also save water to get back. Pay attention to how much water you're going through. 3 liters should be enough to get there and back safely without running out at all. But in addition to having enough water, it's important that you drink your water that you have. Sometimes people get dehydrated because they're so worried about running out that they don't drink what they've brought with them. 3 liters should be enough for you all to drink water all day long, including all the way back, and not run out. So that's important to know. And then last, I just want to mention sunrise and sunset. Please don't be out there in the dark. It's not a good idea. Typically, photographers say between 10 and noon is the best time for photography in the wave itself because it faces north-south and it's in a depression. So if you're there really early or really late in the afternoon, it's going to be full of shadow, which I think is interesting. So there's nothing wrong with it, but if you want like that shot, that was probably taken between 10 and noon. So there's no need to get out there really early or stay out really late for lighting. Okay, if you're out there and you're having a problem, like a life or death problem, such as a stroke or a heart problem, please try calling 911, even if your cell phone says it doesn't work, even if your cell phone doesn't really work in the United States. Try calling 911, it's the national emergency number. Apparently that number works differently than other phone numbers in the United States, and even when there's no signal, 911 can somehow work in remote places. So keep that in mind, but also understand that's reserved for life or death situations. If you're out there and you sprain your ankle, that is not a life or death situation. It is uncomfortable, it's not a good place to be with an injury, but we expect you to get yourself out. Don't expect us to send a helicopter if you sprain your ankle. That's absolutely not going to happen. So it's important to know that you are responsible, for getting yourself out of whatever situation you find yourself in. Have a first aid kit. Have some supplies just in case you do injure yourself. There was a woman on Saturday who had sprained her ankle, and she knew she was hiking herself out. So that's how this works. It's part of the wilderness experience. You can think of it again as an adventure, but understand that that's how things are going to work out there. But if there's a life or death situation, call 911. If you see someone with this insignia, this is Bureau of Land Management or BLM, we're the ones who manage that area. And if there's anything at all that you would like us to know about, feel free to flag us down and talk with us. Especially if there's any sort of minor injury such as a sprained ankle, or if there's anybody you're a little bit concerned about. We would love to know, but it's a large area and we may not be there right when you need us. So keep an eye out for this badge. There are also white pickup trucks that patrol on House Rock Valley Road, and they'll have government license plates. If you see one of those vehicles and you have something important, feel free to flag them down as well. If you see one of those vehicles and no one's in it, leave a note on the dashboard, that's no problem. And if you really need to get in touch with someone, the most reliable place to find one of our staff members is going to be at the Korea contact station. From Wire Pass, you drive up House Rock Valley Road to Highway 89, turn right and drive east a little bit less than 5 miles, and then the Korea contact station is on the right-hand side of the road. It's open from 8 until 4:30. You're welcome to stop in if you have anything to talk to when they're open. If there's an emergency, there are some volunteers who live there. Feel free to knock on their trailer door after business hours if there's something serious that we need to know about. And also if you need any drinking water at any point, the closest drinking water is at the pre-contact station. Even if the building is closed, there's like a gate that will be locked across the parking area. But the great news is you can just walk around that gate and fill up the water from the parking area, and we want you to be hydrated. So take advantage of that. If you have any questions about this hike and you're over in that area, you can also stop at the pre-contact station and get more information on this hike. Or you can stick around, or you can ask up at the front desk. And that is it. So if you have any questions, stick around here. You can ask me. If you don't, you're welcome to leave. If you come up with anything later, come back in. But overall, have a great time.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're like way over. Like, we're not even.
네, 여기가 오늘 우리가 더 웨이브로 가는 트레일 헤드입니다. 와이어 패스 트레일 헤드. 지금 시간 9시 13분. 10월 25일 오전 9시 13분 이 트레일 헤드에서 우리가 이제 더 웨이브로 갑니다. 잘 다녀오겠습니다.
여기서 하나 찍어주세요. take one photo for me. It's not easy to see. Anyway, just push this. You could take.
Okay.
Yeah, just push this.
Yeah.
You would hear the sound.
Two, three.
상은아, 상규야, 엄마 아빠가 드디어 해냈다. 유타주에 있는 더 웨이브라고 하는 곳인데 어저께 펌이 받아가지고 왕복 6.4마일 좀 힘들었지만 너무 멋있는 걸 보고 진짜 감사하게도 돌아왔다. 너희들도 언젠가 꼭 했으면 좋겠다. I love you.